One of the many cool things about hunting Silver Ridge Peaks is the ability to carry a bunch of different varied loadouts, and also, I guess, the ability to randomly have black bears run by at like 5 meters. But because of the species on this map and the fact that there are no class 2 or class 3 animals, it really opens up a lot of different potential loadouts. So today we're going very simple. We have the 7mm Empress of course from what was a once console exclusive weapon, and we have the 22 LR. That's it. Those are the only two weapons we need to cover every species on this map. And not only to cover every species, but to do so rather effectively. Really only bison are the kind of maybe difficult one, and it's just the fact that they're going to run a little further with a lung shot from the 7mm. Everything else, the 7mm is going to do a fantastic job on, and definitely a Gray Mythical Puma is one that the 7mm can take quite well. And I think a pretty good way to start out here on Silver Ridge Peaks multiplayer. And I believe we mentioned this in the last live stream over here on Silver Ridge. The grays look a little bit better to me now, and all the animals had the fur quality improvements, but just kind of, I feel like there's a little more like texture to the fur now, and it worked out really well for the gray, so 38.1 isn't bad. And right now we are in Mountain Lion drink time, of course. It is currently 6:26, so quite soon we'll start to see mule deer, pronghorn, and stuff like that coming out, and in the meantime we'll kind of hang around where we might see more mountain lions. It's actually cool to see as well on Silver Ridge Peaks the bighorn sheep, one of the original species that kind of got a texture update with the Rancho release, and I don't know, we haven't hunted them that much on Silver Ridge Peaks since then, and I just feel like they're one that we kind of overlook. We had a diamond on our first ever hunt on Rancho, and really from that point on, I think we had a random albino female on Rancho as well, kind of while driving an ATV around and unlocking some outposts or doing missions, and really we rarely spend any time actually targeting them, so to just kind of have them down here, again, we're kind of spending some time waiting for some of the other species that we more often go after on this map. It is nice to actually take one down and get to take a look at them. Now, there was a common variant for bighorn as well, and I don't know if this was it. I really have never been that good at identifying them. Again, I just don't really go after them that much. I think this may have been, we'll see what it's called, gray-brown. That must have been the old common. That was not a fur type before. So again, it's nice to kind of learn what used to be called the commons and just know those for future reference. And a nice little gold as we are once again just kind of passing time. Not that I really intended on using the 22 much. I mean, it's really only for turkeys, and at the moment, with light brown turkeys running around everywhere, I don't really know that we're going to be shooting many other than like potentially a common level 3 or any kind of non-light brown uncommon. But it definitely is nice, I think, to go for a hunt that really does highlight the 7mm Empress. Again, it was a console exclusive weapon for, I guess, the entirety of Call of the Wild's existence. Essentially, it may have been kind of like the 270 Stradivarius, where it was like community earned. I don't know exactly at what point it was kind of introduced into the game, but only with the Mississippi update have like all players gotten access to it. And I mean, it performs exactly the same as the other 7mm, but in my opinion, it is just a much better looking variant. But yet again, we're just kind of making the rounds, a gold of everything out here. A nice 411 scoring elk, and the main reason I wanted to get it is it's just so wide, but that does not matter in elk scoring. I think for both Rocky Mountain elk and Roosevelt elk, which is kind of unfortunate. One like this you could kind of see it getting closer to diamond when it's got a rack like that, but it ends up not actually impacting the score at all. Maybe it's because I've never actually gotten to hunt pronghorn in real life, and it's something that I've always wanted to do, but it doesn't matter how many times I see just like a nice pronghorn, even a 4. I just love the look of them, and I think they did such a good job with them. Really a lot of the species on this map, them and mountain goats are my absolute favorites from Silver Ridge Peaks. And I definitely hope to actually get after pronghorn, maybe even here in 2022 if all things kind of go to plan. But as for the here and now, and as for our hunt, I think we've just got our 4th species as a gold straight here on Silver Ridge. Now that I think of it, another one that I've maybe shot none of since the update. So that's called a brown per type, and of course one of the old commons. I have to think there's like a tan or something, because there's definitely a much lighter variation. But nice 90.8 score for that guy. One of my favorite set of horns with like the deep cutters. I think this is definitely wishful thinking, but if I could ever get the chance to take a pronghorn, that would be what I would want it to look like. Now we may not get the gold for this one, as it is an already wounded black bear, and we had that wounded moose on Yukon Valley one time, and that was one of my favorite diamonds that we've ever taken. Of course, at a level 7, that guy is at best going to be a gold, and I think he actually dropped a little health there as we took that shot, so what that may mean is that it was kind of like an oversized caliber, because he must have been kind of slowly dropping health. Hard to say if we're going to get it, but he ran towards us, so that will save us a little bit on the recovery time. And it would be nice, I mean, I had zero intention of trying to go around and get like a gold of everything in this hunt, but it's kind of just gone that way. And for some reason, despite the fact that it is, of course, just a bunch of pixels, it still seems like when there's a random wounded bear out there, we should take it down. And yeah, we lost the animal shot 2 times or less. Harvest check on that one, so I guess someone hit it probably with a shot that looked a lot more like that. I think it's showing us the incorrect shot, and that player has probably left, and that must be why there's not more shots showing, but I mean, he would have been a gold at 20.3 anyway. At this point, I figured it would only make sense to go after Mountain Goat as they're currently drinking. Now, I'm not sure. I mean, we just saw a wounded black bear. This one may well have been spooked from another hunter. It could have even been a mountain lion. But we might as well go ahead and take that shot. It was a good-sized 4. And we can go ahead and, well, as long as it hasn't been hit by some other random weapon, check off another gold on this list. It's actually been a while as well since our last Diamond Mountain Goat. A 101.1 is not bad, and that's been something that I've kind of been after, chasing mountain goats here and there on Silver Ridge Peaks between that and Black Bear. And in spending time in multiplayer recently, we had one of the kills that I've probably wanted the most since the very beginning when Silver Ridge Peaks actually came out, and to see that in multiplayer was insane. I just cannot believe what is out here in front of us. That is a level 4 max weight estimate Melanistic mountain goat with an estimate that at least gives it a chance at being a level 4 diamond. And you know, so many times it's something like this. There's a mule deer out there kind of among these mountain goats, and when I initially saw the darker colored body, that is what I expected. Like, I've finally, I think, seen it so many times that I start to not expect the Melanistic, and it took probably a triple take looking back at it over and over to really set in that it is in fact a Mela. Now, we've got the 7mm today. I think that might be a fun weapon to try to take it with. Trying to determine about 300 meters. I think we can make that shot from the tower here. It's kind of a weird place, especially with the bad wind, so we'll let him... Oh, yeah. They have a weird drinking animation, so we'll make sure that we time this correctly to get it into the chest cavity. Once he lifts his head, hopefully he'll keep it lifted. And I think we just dropped him. Not gonna help to look through the corner of the stand. Hunting pressure will confirm. He dropped in his tracks. I can't believe that just happened, and the anticipation, the adrenaline is not done yet. It could, that 109 top, it really makes me wonder, and we've never had a diamond level 4. It can happen, so I'm crossing my fingers. Regardless, he's a guaranteed gold, and that was the ultimate kind of goal with the mountain goat grind we were doing, and yet again, here we are in multiplayer, kind of completing that type of thing. He's a 105.9. He missed diamond by about 1.5, and I'm not even upset. That is such a cool looking trophy, and they are essentially diamond horns. I will say a 130 kg mountain goat absolutely can make diamond, but I mean, it's got the look, it's got the gold rating, it's over 100 score, and a heart shot at 270 meters. What a day to grab the 7mm Empress. And, you know, one of the most common questions that I'll get is, like, how many hours do I spend on a particular video? And usually a hunt is maybe 2.5 hours, but I think is one of the things that's so often lost is these kind of hunts that I'm doing when I'm not actually recording, just running around in multiplayer. Been doing it for probably a couple of hours now, and suddenly a kill that's potentially going to save us way more hours in the grind in single player. And yeah, I just think that gets lost when I say it's a 2-hour hunt and, you know, a lot of videos include a diamond or a rare. That might make it seem like there's less time put in than there is, but is these hunts a lot of the time that result in some of the, you know, cooler kills? And that, no doubt, is, well, I mean, thus far in 2022, the coolest kill, although we're barely a week in. I mentioned there some of the kind of unseen aspects, I think, to making videos such as this one, and a lot of it is those just hours in multiplayer spent that most of the time don't really result in anything, but sometimes end up with some of the absolute coolest stuff that we end up for content in an entire year. And one other kind of unseen thing is that, at least for me personally, I don't place those animals in the trophy lodge until days later, like whenever the actual video comes out, as we are about to go and do, just so that I don't maybe forget on a stream and walk past it or anything like that. I really try to avoid any kind of spoilers, and what that means at the moment is that I have yet to actually see that monster Melanistic gold mountain goat in the lodge. So we're gonna go and grab this mule deer, and we are going to make a beeline for our trophy lodge. He's a bit of an odd looking one as well, so I don't know at level 3 if he'll reach gold. 215, missed it by about 7. But again, that was never really the point of this video, it just kind of kept on happening. But no doubt, the coolest gold from just hours spent in multiplayer looking for pretty much anything, but specifically mountain goats and black bear, was no doubt the Melanistic gold mountain goat. So back into single player then to hop into our trophy lodge. I just don't know for sure what I want to do with this. I mean, it's such a cool thing. 105.9 Melanistic next to a 108.5 diamond. The difference may be in the spread of the horns. That would be really unfortunate if it came down to just that. But I can definitely see that 108 is a little bit wider. The thing is, I just don't know that a wall plaque does justice to how cool this animal looks. And again, you know, with our trophy lodge, there's so little room for kind of full body platforms. I think for the moment, he'll stay there. At some point, I do want to kind of reconsider the way we have our lodge set up in terms of layout, and maybe he'll make it to a full body platform, or even better potentially, if one day they add multi-mounts for like mountain goats fighting, or I don't know, a mountain lion chasing a mountain goat, something like that. Could be really, really cool, but that's one I've wanted for, I think, coming up on 3 years, would it be, or 2 years, since the release of Silver Ridge Peaks. Either way, it felt like a long time, but to complete it in that way, with the 7mm Empress, the hard shot at long range, it was just perfect the way it worked out. It would have been amazing if it made diamond, but I've got absolutely no complaints. That is one of the coolest rares we have in the entire lodge. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.